Hello, folks. Is there anybody out there? I don't think anybody's here yet. I'm all by myself. Hello, folks. Anybody out there? Don't think there is. That's not very good for business. All right. I will hang around for a little while and see if... Oh, Mark is here. Good to see you, Mark. It might be just the two of us. Just the two of us. See if anybody else decides to pop in here. Let's turn on. Ouch! Some bright lights. See if I can fix that. I can do this. Do. Oops. Dark. Oh. Nice and smooth. That off. Can turn background. In the back, that would embarrass me. Oh. Medicine. Hey, we got 4 people here now. We got Mark. We got Sean. Very cool. Good to see you guys. Let's actually see if I can... Participants. Oh, nope. It's just Mark and Sean. And concurrent viewers. So there's a couple of hidden folks out there. Dwayne is here. Good to see you. Hopefully the picture's not too bright. There we go. When it's darker, it's nice and smooth. It's nice and smooth. All right, let's see if I got my... There's my... I've only got 2 cameras now. I did a video not too long ago on updating to the latest Mac OS. So the only issue with that is that it cut down my ability to have 20 USB devices. Yeah, I know, 20, that's ridiculous. Excuse me. So what I did is I removed 3 devices that I really didn't need, a couple of disk drives that I just had hooked up, and I removed 2 cameras. So that opened up 5 ports. Well, 4, but there was a 5th that was just powering something. So I went ahead and rebooted, and everything started working much, much better. So that was pretty good. How has it been? It's been good. It's been good. Yeah, the latest Sequoia. Let me make sure of that before I do anything. Let me go to the classroom here. That's what the classroom is. Let's see about this Mac. So yes, Sequoia, and it's the latest one, 15.3.1. And so far it's been super stable, hasn't really affected anything, except the USB ports. Other than that, it was pretty good. It actually worked out pretty well. So, I can definitely, and I got a couple of third-party plugins. I've got IK Multimedia, and I've got Native Instruments, and a couple of freebies, and those all worked. All of my custom stuff, like the color toolbar that Truckee makes, and my custom toolbar, all of that stuff worked right out of the box. And I've opened up old songs. I've opened up Studio 1.5 and 6 for clients that I'm training. No issues. Billy Morgan is here. He says, good morning, good evening, everyone. So very cool. Yeah, it's been good. I can officially recommend it, but if you've got more third-party plugins, especially third-party stuff, other than, that you use inside of Studio One, I would definitely check with the manufacturers to make sure that it's going to work for you, or to make, let me rephrase that, to make sure that it's supported and will work for you. So I have heard of a few people that upgraded and had to go back because some of their plugins didn't work. I don't remember the exact names. A couple of interfaces, like Behringer drivers for one guy wasn't working. Trent Lundy is here. Good to see you. So yeah, so it's actually been okay. Oh, Don Oliver's here. Awesome. Good to see you guys. All right, so what I'm going to try to touch on is now I haven't actually done it. I've done some exploring to make sure that the option is there. But there was a question asked in the main Personas group about being able to import 2 mono files to a single stereo track. And of course, my answer was, oh, yeah, Studio One doesn't do that. So just import them into their own tracks. Well, I was wrong because Lucas, this guy, he knows he knows just as much and more than I know about Studio One. He said, yeah, just use the multi. I'll have to show you what the option is. If you browse to the file menu in the browser in Studio One, select the 2 files and say import multi-channel. I'm like, what are you talking about? There's no, so I went ahead and I tried it. And I had a couple of files on my desktop. I right-clicked, and I didn't find the option. So I messaged him back in the thread, and I says, I don't know where you're seeing that, but it's not showing up. And I showed a screenshot of the right-click menu, and it wasn't in there. So then he replies, were they mono files? I'm like, duh. No, they weren't mono files. So what I had to do is I had to create a couple of mono files. Now, what I don't know, does it take the 2 mono files and pan them left and right? I don't know. I'm not sure. I'm not sure what it does. So we are going to find out together today. But it was one of those little features that I had no clue about. And that's not new either. I've been working with Studio One since 2010, since version 1. I became a beta tester in version 2. And I only still know about maybe a third of what Studio One can actually do. Oh, Just Bob says, hello, I'm late. I can't stay long. I got to be up at 3 a.m. Yep, that's no problem. I got to be at work at 9 p.m., so I'll be working till 7 a.m. I really don't want to. All right, he says, have a great show. Tap the like button. I appreciate that. Tony's here. Good to see you, Tony. Glad you can make it. All right, 12 people in here. All right, and as always, if you could, like and subscribe to my YouTube channel. If you're watching this over on Rumble, hit the follow button. And if you want to help support what I do here, click the link in the description and go over to Patreon, and you can support me for as little as $1. You'll get free support, phone calls, videos, and if you support me for just $1, just $1. So, but if you choose to do the 2 or the 6 or the 9, that is super appreciated. And those subscribers really keep the channel alive, because that is my only source of income on this. So hopefully you guys can do that. I really appreciate it. All right. All right. So this feature is, I don't know how long it's been there. I don't even know if it was new to Studio One 7. But we're going to give it a shot. So let's go ahead. All right, so here we are over here in the classroom. Hopefully everybody's all set. I'm going to click on New. And it's going to give me the bouncing ball, There we go. We're going to go ahead and choose my quantum template, which is another video I have to do. All right, so here's what they say it will do. I'm going to stretch this out this way. I'm going to go to Files. All right, and oh, good, it's already on the desktop. All right, so these are the files I'm going to try to import as a stereo multi-channel. All right, so what does that mean? I don't know. I haven't done this yet. So I'm really looking forward to seeing how this works and what the do's and don'ts are. All right, so these are all mono files that I exported from one of my old songs. And the secret to actually seeing this option is that the files that you are going to merge need to be mono. They cannot be stereo files. And the cool thing that Studio One always does, if you don't have the right types of files, certain options won't even show. It's really important to make sure that if you're going to use this import option and you don't see it, chances are the files you're selecting are not stereo, they're mono. And again, thank you, Lucas, for actually pointing that out and helping me with this. Well, he was helping everybody, but, for me, I appreciate it. All right. So, when I exported these stems, I made sure that it did 2 mono files for each stereo stem. So as you can see here, I'm going to see what happens if I import a bass and a drum track. There we go, just these 2. Now, technically, if I right-click, I should see the option. There it is. Merge to multi-channel file, which I had no idea was an option. All right, so what is this going to do? Let's find out. I'm going to click it. Bam. And okay, so it didn't bring it into my song. What did it do with it? Mixing. I don't know what it did with it. Did it? I wasn't watching. So did it actually add a file? I think it was this one. Oh, this says it's a mono file. I'm going to bring this in. I want to see what happens. Oh, that's exactly what it did. Awesome. Okay. So if you have 2 mono acoustic guitar files and you merge them like I showed you, it is going to put one on the left and one on the right. So what I did is I imported a drum track and a bass track, and it made them stereo. Oh, that is cool. I like it. So now you're probably wondering, well, now how the hell do I control that? All right, let's actually see. All right, I'm going to just kind of scoot it up to here. So now, one of the things that I can do is if I right-click, I can actually change the pan law to binaural. Oh, not binaural. I want dual. There we go. So now I can bring these in. There we go. Perfect. Just like that. Okay, so I'm sure the question is going to come up. Why not just bring in on 2 mono tracks? Which was kind of my original answer before I realized this was an option. But I can totally see how this would be useful. Let's say you have 4 or 6 mono backup vocals, all different performances. This would be fantastic in order to bring these channels in on their own, right, left, to really be able to keep your track count down. For mixing, or if you've got like hundreds of tracks or whatever for your song, being able to combine tracks like this is really, really nice. So And of course, this really is best for like external files. You know, if you've got the tracks inside of Studio One, there's really no need to export them and then import them like this. If you want to do this, you can actually go ahead and kind of mix just those, solo them, and do a mix down selection. And that'll be in another video. But this is a cool option. This is a really cool option. Now, what it does... Let's see if I can get off. There we go. Okay, so now what it does if I select multiple files. So I am going to select one bass. I am going to select one drum. I'm going to select one piano. I am going to select one acoustic guitar. I think that's an acoustic guitar. And one vocal. So now, what is it going to do with this? Watch this. We're going to right-click. We're going to say merge to multi-channel. So what I think it's going to do is go pan, 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 pan. All right, and it did another one. And again, I wasn't watching, so I think it's this one. Actually, I'm going to take these and I'm going to remove them. Delete. Bye-bye. All right, let's try it again. So I'm going to take a bass, a drum, a piano, and a vocal. I'm going to right-click, and I'm going to say merge to multi-channel file. Keep an eye on the bottom. All right. Oh, it gave me two. So let's see what the first one is. I'm going to bring this in, and I will be able to see this is a stereo file. Okay, so it took two of them, put them in a multi-file. Let's bring this one in. Okay, and it took the other ones and put them in a different file. Okay, so I can do the dual and the dual and bring them in. Very good. Very cool. Very cool. That's a great feature. So if you select more than two tracks, it's actually going to... It looks like what it's going to do is it's only going to do two in a multi-channel at a time. So if I were to have selected 6 tracks, it would have done 3 stereo tracks. Just like that. What do you guys think? Is this a useful feature to you guys? I don't know. It's up for debate. I mean, for me personally, the stuff that Personas is adding to Studio One is just mind-blowing. At least in my opinion. I don't know if this particular feature would help me. I could see uses for it. Oh my goodness, we got 25 people in here. Good to see everybody. Glad you guys could make it. Excellent. So the question is this importing of mono files? Just Bob says it's pretty cool. Oh, good. I'm glad you hung around for a bit, Bob. So it's a cool feature. I don't know. Yeah, the panning actually came out good. It's very Beatlesque, you know. instruments on one side and vocals on the other, or vocals mixed with instruments on the other side. You get that big 60s mixing thing. What did they call it? Full dimensional stereo. If I actually took these and panned them all the way out the way they were imported, I've got a major Beatles moment. Okay, so since I really can't help myself, I'm going to overdo it. Let's remove the selected tracks. I am going to select them all. So now it might just end up being mono, because I've got two of everything here. All right, so actually, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to go with one bass. Oops, that's not it. One bass. I'm holding the command key, just so you guys know, or the Windows key, or is it Windows? I don't remember which key that is on a PC. One bass, one drum, one piano. These are the would-be guitars, and one vocal. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So let's see what it does with 5, shall we? Pick and merge to multi-channel. I think I'm going to get 3 tracks out of it. Yeah. Oh, shoot. I got to... Hold on. Okay, let's try it again. Drum, piano, guitars, and vocals. Let's see what it does. I click. Merge to multi-channel. Oh, it only gave me 2. Interesting. All right, let's bring him in. So this should be the whole song. Ooh, where'd the vocal go? I know I selected the vocal. Let's see. Billy Morgan says that he's used it with multiple PGVs to cut down on track count. Backup vocals, I think that's what he means. All right, so let me do this. Let me try this again here. All right, you know what? I'm just going to do them all. Don't know what this is going to do. All right, merge to multi-channel file. Boing, 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 boing. Oh, but you know what? I did it again. Oh, did it just actually put them on 2? Hold on. Yeah, let's see what it did. The vocals are disappearing. Interesting. So only one? All right, so I think that the secret here... Oh, it did do another one. I see it. I see it. I think it's this one. Yep. Yep, that was it.
I know. You love me, I know.
All right, very cool.
She could see the future.
What does that vocal sound sweet?
Already made plans.
Listen to the depth of that vocal. I mean, I'm not talking about my performance, but I'm just talking about the depth. This was recorded with a Personas M7 microphone.
I'll in reply. I know. But when she turns around and says, I love you, I just smile and reply. I know. You love me, I know, I know. I know, I know, I know, I know.
Tambourine is moving from channel to channel. That's pretty cool. Dee is here. Good to see you. Let's see. Dee says, I love the whole mono setup. And I like the mono to stereo. The stem separator is awesome for grabbing old tape tracks. Yes. Yes, yes, yes. I agree. But that's pretty good. And then that's pretty much the demonstration. We have 20 people in here. And it looks like we have 12 likes. If you guys could, appreciate it if you hit that like button. Let's see. The chat rate looks pretty good right now. Thank you guys for coming in. I really appreciate it. So let's talk about this. Would it be useful to you? I just got this. Dementia. That's Pops. Oh, man. Good to see you, Bob. Good to see you. It took me a second. I'm like, D, and, you know, my eyes aren't really great. I couldn't see what that last was, so I just called you D. Dementia. That's beautiful. Yeah, there we go. And since all of these files that I've been using to do this conversion deal, they were on my desktop, and you can see that it keeps all the files. It keeps all the files there. So it'll keep putting them together for you. 25 people here. Good to see you. So what we're doing is we are playing around with the importing mono files and have it create a multi-channel. Excuse me. All right, so let me try something else. So since the original tracks here were actually, sorry, I had an Elmer Fudd moment there. Since they were actually created from stereo files, if I take the two left and right drum files and I import them, actually here, hold on a second. So we got left, right. Okay, so I can get rid of this. I can get rid of this, and these two. These are the merged files. So let's delete these guys. There we go. So left, right, left, right, left, right. Oh, that's piano and strings. We need to get rid of that one. All right. So this is originally what I started with. Left and right vocal, left and right she knows. That is the guitar and keyboard tracks. Piano and strings, drums, and bass. And then here was the merged bass files. So what I want to do, since I exported these stereo tracks as left and right monos, I forgot what I was doing. I think I was deleting this. There we go. So I'm going to take these. Bass, right click. Whoops. Try that again. These. Right click. Merge multi-channel. Boom. I'm going to take let me actually increase this a bit so I can see the whole title. There we go. I'm going to take the two drum files. I'm going to merge. I am going to take the two piano files, pianos and strings. I'm going to merge to multi-channel. And I'm going to bring that in. So what I'm doing is I'm rebuilding the stereo mix that I had originally. So I'm like totally reconstructing it. So these are the guitars. And it puts that up there. Oh, nothing in that. And the vocals. Merge to multi-channel. So now, get rid of this. So now, did I rebuild my song?
But I know one thing
Sure
for
did.
sure. When she says we'll always be together, I just smile and reply, I know, I know, I know, I know you love me. I know, I know, I know, I know.
There it is.
I know you love me. I know, I know, I know, I know.
I should put the bass and drums on one side and everything else on the other.
I know, I know, I know, I know, I know.
Oh, we're clipping.
I know.
There we go. Not bad. Yeah. Yeah, I agree, Bob. Yeah, he says it's actually a better mix. Just saying. No, I agree. So with the original files that I exported, and the original files were just the stereo mixdown where I used the stem separator. I exported the stems as mono files, mono left, mono right, mono left, mono right. And so the experiment in this last portion was to actually rebuild the original stereo mix from the broken down stems to see if it would sound the same. And it does. It actually does. Low ends with the clapping. Thank you. 23 people in here. Good to see everybody. Wow. That's a pretty good turnout for I put up the announcement. I got off my other job and I put up the announcement 10 minutes before the show started, and I still got 23 people in here. You guys don't know how much I appreciate that. All right. Oh, Sheila's here. She says, I have been so busy. Life kicked me in. Life kicked in. Sorry. No problem. I'm just glad you're here. I am really glad you're here. All right, so let's see. We got Billy Morgan. We got She Studios. We got Low Ends. We got Dementia. Yeah, that's my favorite name now. We got Roger. He says, what is the difference of just selecting all of the files and dragging them in? Won't it just put each file on a separate track? Yes, it will. Shall we try that? Actually, I like Roger's idea. And thanks for coming in. So let's do that. Let's get rid of this. Let's remove all the tracks, and let's get rid of the mixdowns. And that one, it's the ones that aren't labeled with an L or an R. All right, we're right-clicking, and we are deleting. And yes, here we go. All right, so L and R, there we go. So, that's a great question. What happens if I just import all the damn things? And for a song with this few tracks, Roger, that's probably the best thing to do. So, ready? Boomf. Excellent. All right. So let's see what we have. We're going to test the mix here in a second. All right. So we got bass left and right. So I'm going to want to go boom, boom. We have drums left and right. We're going to go boom, boom. We have our piano left and right. We have, okay, that's the blank mix, so these two I can get rid of. This is just, it for some reason, it exported extra tracks. All right, so now we have, let's see, piano left and right. Okay, last one is the vocals left and right. And let's see what we've got. Here we go. Ready?
I know one thing for sure. When she says
there it
we'll
is.
Always be together.
Ow.
I just smile and reply.
I can take all the drums, or let's see, yes, and some bass. I can put the drums.
I know, you love me. I know, I
And there we go. And you see that worked just as well. Just as well. So my final thoughts on using that merge feature. Here it is. Merge to multi-channel. Any two files that you decide, and remember, they have to be mono. You're not going to even see this option if they're stereo. All right, Bob says when offline, not during shoe. Try this. Oh, with the queen stems. Might make a cool Patreon show. That's a good idea. All right, Roger says thanks. Okay, so like I was saying, if you don't have mono files, you won't even see this. This is how smart Studio One is, I think. Because a lot of times you'll see, like in other DAWs, you'll actually see an option for a particular setting and it won't work and you'll wonder why. With Studio One, there are some features that if you just don't have the right file types, you won't even see an option. So if you put a bunch of files on your desktop and you want to import them to a stereo file, if you don't see this option, there's a good chance that one or both of the two files that you want to bring in as a stereo file are stereo already. So you would have to make the mono in order for this to work. You would have to do that. But I think for some things, it's a really useful feature, especially if you're getting files from clients and you know that they're all going to be mono and you want to merge a couple. Let's say you get a project with 60 tracks. You know, something like this would actually be very useful, I think. But for the most part, I think what Roger suggested, why not just bring them all in? Yeah, that's the best way to do it. Because you can always take two files, and then you can do a mix-down selection, and it'll create a stereo file within your song. For example, I knew somebody was going to ask. Steve Mann says, it sounds a little different. Let's see. It sounds a little different out of my soundbar this way. Oh. Will it draw more CPU with more tracks as opposed to the stereo setup? You know, no, it won't, because Studio One sees very little CPU. I've actually imported, 50 to 60 tracks. I've imported them at like 10 at a time. One client actually sent me a whole song on four DVDs or 4 CDs, and each one had 10 tracks on it. And I was watching the CPU meter. When it comes to audio tracks,
I know one thing for sure.
the CPU doesn't move.
Says we'll always be.
All right, okay, so see now. Steve knocked me off track. Hey, Wayne is here. Good to see you, Wayne. He says, I remember this song. So if I was to take these tracks, you can see here that they're pulling about 1 to 2%. If I double the amount of tracks, and I say duplicate tracks complete, I now have a whole bunch. You will see that it'll still stay at 2%.
I know one thing for sure. When she says we'll always be together,
It touches 3.
I just smile and reply.
Now, I have a very slow computer. I've only got a Mac Mini M1 with only 8 gig of RAM. So I now have double the tracks that I had, and it barely went up 1%. Did I keep going? It says, I am going to duplicate the duplicates. And now I have a lot more tracks. I got 32 tracks. Let's see what the CPU does.
I know one thing for sure.
We're going 3%.
When she says we'll always be together.
All right, one more time. So we're going to go and take the 32 tracks. Whoops. It didn't work. Take the 32 tracks. Oh, wow. It won't let me select them. Hold on a second. All right. Up. I'm going to select the top one all the way down. Going to select the bottom one and hold shift. Bam. Now I'm going to right click on them and I'm going to say duplicate complete. Boom. Now I have 64 tracks. How much is the CPU going to go up?
I know one thing.
Oh, wait. Okay, try again.
I know one thing for sure.
6%.
When she says we'll always be together, I just smile.
64 tracks. Now, don't forget, I don't have any effects on anything. Should we keep going? Yeah, let's go with this subject. So what if I decide to put something on the inserts for all the tracks? So let's select the first track. Let's select the last track. And now if I bring in an effect, it's going to go on everything. So what is a CPU intensive Studio One plugin? That would be open air or room reverb. Okay, so if I go ahead and I take open air and I put it on just one of the selected tracks, boom. Now every single track has open air. And look at the CPU. Now this is a Mac Mini M1 with only 8 gig of RAM. Ready?
I know one thing for sure.
7%.
When she says we'll always
7%.
be together, I just smile and reply.
Oh, Billy says, what about Empire? Should we see? All right, so I have 64 audio tracks. I have 64 open air plugins, one on each track. So Billy says, now this is going to sound like garbage, but we're going to do it. So if I was to go with Empire, which is another big CPU, this Mac commercial brought to you by HST. It's not so much a Mac commercial as it is an, oh my gosh, this thing handles a lot commercial. All right, here we go. I am going to put Empire on 64 tracks. Oh, look at the CPU. I think we found our limits. Oh, and it's got some effect on it. All right, where are we at? All right. So if I hit play, that's actually not bad. I'm not using dropout protection. I'm not using protection. I'm not using the dropout protection. And I think I'm at, for my my device block size, I'm at 256. Now, if I drop that down to 128, I'm sure Studio One would go gack. That's my term for freezing. Yeah. Sheila says wave reverb plugins would actually, would eat up the CPU. Correct. But, you know, for the songs that I work on, for the stuff that I create, I never use more than maybe 15, maybe 24 tracks. Plus VST plugins. That's a lot of power. M1, 8 gig of RAM. It runs everything. So now, take this. But that sounded stupid. So now take this into consideration. I'm running Studio One. And let me go over here. Whoops. There we go. So take this into consideration. I am running Studio One. I'm running OBS. I'm running Google. And I'm running a live stream. Now think about that. That's a lot running on this machine right now. I'm running Studio One, 64 tracks. Let's see, my math sucks. So 64 times 2 plugins, 2 of the heaviest CPU plugins. And all of the stuff that I'm running in the background to show you guys this. And it's running. My old PC that I have sitting in the back with all the fancy colors on it right there. That computer, it's a Gen 4 Intel. It's got 64 gig of RAM, and it would never run this. So yeah. So let me go back through the comments here. I mean, what do you guys think? So let's see. Low End says he's using a 2014 Mac Mini with 8 gig and loving the performance. I have one of those also. Sheila says it's still good with that many tracks. I agree. Let's see. Bop, otherwise known as Dementia. He says, once you add salt and pepper to taste, I'm thinking the DAW is using the same song data. Yes, you are correct. And Wayne says, you are now performing a stress test for your Mac users. Yes. And I've got this Mac is a couple years old now. They're all the way up to M4 for crying out loud. If I bought an M4, which I can't because I can't afford that much. Yeah, it would never work. All right, Dementia said, if you rendered each of the tracks with effects from different VSTs, yeah, I'd be okay. And there's Wayne again with this Mac commercial brought to you by HST. God, I wish I had Apple as a sponsor. Yeah, smoke rises from the computer. Now, let me see if it's actually getting warm. I've got it right over here. Oh, it's perfect. Ice cold. Just Bob says, create an infinite tail on reverb. I could do that. Let's see. Sheila says, she's laughing at my not using protection. My dropout protection. It's about all I can do these days is drop out. Let's see. I use less tracks too, says Dementia. Steve Mann. Oops. Oh, where'd he go? There it is. He said, so obviously we want as little CPU as possible, but even when a small OS, we have wiggle room. Yeah. I mean, you guys saw it here. And I think the thing to remember, too, is just the CPU option alone in Studio One or the CPU monitor in Studio One. The other stuff that I have running, especially OBS is a big thing. Plus, I'm live on Wi-Fi broadcasting this live stream. I know. So let's see. Johnny Lipstrom is here. He says load up 100 instances of open air and watch the performance meter and enjoy the fun, right? Exactly. Oh, man. But, you know, I still think it's impressive. 25 people in here. You guys are awesome. 25 people. We have 20 likes. Thank you, guys. I appreciate the likes. If you can, if you're new here, please, you can subscribe as well. If you become a Patreon member, all your support and all of your assistance is absolutely free. If you join at the low, you can join for as low as $1 a month, or you can go as high as $9. All right, so let's see here. Thanks for coming in, Johnny. Let's see. Sheila says, by the way, I upgraded to Studio One 7.1. Yes. Oh, it is stable as hell. That's what I'm using here. I'm using the latest version. Let's see. Dementia, lol, dropout protection. He says he uses Depends. Hey, Kane Rock. Is that Robert Kane? If it is, please use protection, he says. He also says, I find that many of the Personas plugins are very CPU efficient. Yes, they are. And they're pretty damn good. Most of the time when I have CPU issues, it's with third-party plugins. Yes, that's exactly right. That's exactly right. Sheila is saying hi to Kane. Russell Harris is here. Good to see you, Russell. Wow, 27 people in here. You guys are awesome. I really do appreciate you guys coming in on such a last-minute show. But pretty much every Friday at 6 or 7 o'clock is when I do the live streams. I shoot for 6. If I end up late at work, then I do it at 7. All right, Johnny Lipsham says, once on a live stream, I accidentally referred to dropout protection as drop pants protection. Not a single person noticed. Pay attention, people. Exactly. Steve Mann says, membership is well worth it. So few things are these days. Well, hey, I appreciate that, Steve. Really do. Yeah, I've been doing great. Most of my Zooms that I've been doing lately are people that are not on my Patreon. So, but it's been good. I think this month, what is today? Today's the 7th. I think I've already done 8 Zoom sessions. 3 or 4 of them from the Patreon crew. Otherwise, it's been from the Facebook group. Yeah, Sheila says Studio One has really good stock plugins. I don't know why some people trash them. Well, you know, some people are locked in with a particular sound, and all plugins at some point have a different sound. Sometimes people just like the sound that they want without having to do a bunch of adjustments. I'm pretty sure you could go through any of the Personas plugins and A/B it with a third party, and with a few adjustments, you could get pretty close. Wayne Goldman says, I'll never forget the Little Seizures Pizza comment. Long time ago, remember that? I do remember that. Oh my gosh, it's 7 o'clock. I haven't even ordered dinner yet. All right, folks, I got another job to go to at 9 o'clock, so I'm going to get going. Let's see. It's worth the membership, folks. Jenny G's help is invaluable. Thank you for that, Just Bob. I really do appreciate it. So we peaked out at 30 people. Gosh, it's awesome. I really appreciate it. And Sheila says, I agree, Johnny. Thank you. And so that's going to do it for me. I got to have dinner before I log into my other job, my night job. So please, if you guys can, please leave a comment in the comments area. Let me know what you thought about this broadcast. It went pretty easy. Not a whole lot of issues happened. I really pushed Studio One, at least for my computer. I pushed it really good. Sheila says, nice chatting with everyone. Let's see. All right, cool. All right, so for all the people remaining here, I'm going to sign off. Please like and subscribe to my YouTube page. All of my videos are over on Rumble. You can go over there and actually hit the follow button. Oh, let's see. I'm no one. I'm no one. He says, hey, JG, well, it's good to see you. Billy Morgan says, good night, everyone. And Dwayne says, great show. And so does Don Oliver. Very cool. All right, that's it for me, guys. You guys have a great evening. Have a great weekend, and I'll see you next Friday at 6 o'clock. Take care.